Good morning, everyone. We're continuing here in NIDCHEI YISRAEL of the Horowitz, and he begins to get into the real effects that it had when the Jews left Europe and came to America, and why the Horowitz was so concerned about this mass exodus that was taking place. And in his Ruach HaKodesh, his great vision of the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he was able to determine far ahead in advance the negative effects it's going to have, and therefore he wrote this sefer to try to be matzel, to save the Jews from getting totally lost. However, today, Hashem Yitzuki Azman, the difficulties of the time, Mizgabrim Mishal L'Shah, they are piling up and increasing Shah L'Shah over time. I mean, every day it's getting more severe, more difficult, more struggles. And therefore it's increasingly, it's causing to increase the exodus from Europe to far off lands. And that's happening every single day. And truthfully he says, our brothers and our sisters of Klal Yisrael, they're being caught up and they are leaving in the thousands and tens of thousands to the corners of the world. And every single day their numbers are increasing dramatically. And therefore we're obligated to put into our hearts and think about what is the matzah, what is the situation of Klal Yisrael, and our religion. We have to begin to worry what's going to be with the end of the Jewish people when they are there. Now remember, America was a foreign country at this time. All of the Yidden that were known about, they were living, again, in the times of the Horowitz. Everybody was there in Europe, in Poland and in Lithuania and in Hungary and the like, and many were frum, and there were many that were connected, and there were shtetelach, and there were insulated neighborhoods and communities where the Yidden could just be themselves. America, which was called at that time the Treifa Medina, it was the non-kosher land. Who in the world would pick up from the holy place of Radin, of Minsk, of Kletsk, of Slobodka? Who would pick themselves up and go to this far-flung land that was known as the Treifa Medina? And therefore the Horowitz knew that there was no infrastructure over there. There were no schools at this time. There were not sheikhtim that could shecht and slaughter the animals in the proper way. There wasn't a place to get tefillin made. There wasn't a place to build a sukkah. Nothing existed over there. Ask the Horowitz what's going to be? What's going to be down the road if the Yidden keep going in the droves, thousands of people, to a desolate wasteland of Ruchnius? What's going to happen, God forbid? We're all going to get lost amongst the Goyim. The assimilation rate is going to excel rapidly, and the Jewish people don't have a real connection and an anchor. Are they going to get lost? And what's going to end up taking place? So all of the foundations and the pillars of our religion, of Torah, those that are lighter mitzvahs and those that are more severe mitzvahs, they're going to be destroyed. We see it today with our own eyes. The most stringent of all of the mitzvahs, like kari, spiritual cutting off, or even mitzvahs that you do that the bezdin, if there would be such a high court, could inflict the death penalty. People do it as if it's nothing. There's nothing anymore. Many people that live over there in the four corners of the world, outside of the bastion of Ruchnius of Europe, they are trampling on even the biggest of all of the mitzvahs, as if they're doing nothing. These people used to be Anoshim Ksherim. They used to be very kosher, ehrlich, frum people. Asher b'ritzaydam v'chepsam ayuboyim ba'eshav amayim mila'avar al achas mehem. They used to, when they were living over here in Radin, I remember that neighbor, says the Chofetz Chaim, he would be willing to give up his life in fire and water not to transgress one of the mitzvahs. And now what do we see, says the Chofetz Chaim, over there in America, over there in the far-off lands, where there's no other Jews around and they're left to fend for themselves, they are divorcing themselves and they are letting go of their Yirah Shamayim, of their mitzvahs just like that. What's going to be in the future, says the Chofetz Chaim? I have to continue tomorrow, Be'ez Hashem.